Well, we finally got to see Son Heung-min make his debut start for LAFC versus the New England Revolution. And while they won 2-0, there was a lot of bad things in this game, especially from the midfield in the first half of this match. Now, the New England Revolution are not a good team in Major League Soccer. They're close to the bottom of the table, maybe a little bit in the mid-table of the Eastern Conference in Major League Soccer. So this is not like they're playing in a crazy opponent that's uber talented, right? And I thought they would probably win this game with ease, especially now that Sonny's got a full week with his team. I thought he'd play better, he'd be more accustomed to his teammates, and that they would look really good in this match. But the first half was absolutely abysmal, and it had nothing to do with Son Heung-min. It was just there was no creativity in the first half. They were turn the ball over way too much. They were kind of standing around a little bit. The build-up play was very, very slow. And a lot of people, I saw a lot of Korean fans, especially or former Tottenham or former Sun fans that are at Tottenham, say, hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. With your help, I know we will reach that goal. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. Now, back to the video. That this team is bad. Like the quality is bad around Son, and they just look terrible. Like this is the team he's playing with. This is beneath him, essentially, is what they said. So let's talk about the midfield, right? The first half. Like I said, it was a stalemate. Not a lot of good chances. I think that LAFC only had 2 shots in the first half, none of them on target. Their expected goal was like 0.11, absolutely terrible. New England was like 0.12. So both of these teams were just completely ineffective. Nothing in the final third, weren't really able to do anything. But LAFC specifically, Marky Delgado was terrible in the first half. He was probably the worst player in the first half for me. He turned the ball over. He was slow. He was slow to make any decisions, but slow physically as well. And he just looked like he I don't want to say checked out, but he just wasn't up to the standard of what you need for this attack to be as good as it possibly can be. Igor Jesus also looked very slow, looked very lethargic, he wasn't good defensively, and he wasn't good in the attack. He was very disappointing as well. Timothy Tillman was okay, not bad, not good, but collectively as a unit, the midfield was horrible. Horrible. Now, the defense really wasn't tested anything crazy in the first half. I thought they looked all right. I think Palencia was fine, had a couple good crosses. Hollingshead was fine. But collectively, the worst part about the first half was the midfield. Now, the whole team didn't really play good in the first half outside of maybe Lloris and Son, but the midfield by far stunk up the joint. Worst part of the first half. Absolutely embarrassing. And I have to say, Carlos Gil for New England Revolution, number 10, was just coming back into the defense. He was playing very deep to get the ball and start the transition, start the attack for New England. Remind me a lot of Ricky Puig for the LA Galaxy. He was the best player on the pitch in the first half, in my opinion. He was incredible. And it made me think that if LAFC had a player of his caliber, how much better could this team be? How much more creativity? How many more goals? How lethal could this club be if they had a playmaker like Carlos Gil? And maybe they'll be able to sign one. The window's still open. Maybe they'll be able to bring in a creative number 10 who can help the attack and open things up. We'll have to see if they're able to get that across the line. But when you see Carlos Gil on a team who is less talented, be able to do what he could do, and they had a couple chances, it made you realize how bad LAFC's midfield truly was. So we end the first half 0-0, and you're thinking to yourself, oh no, this is probably, first of all, if you weren't asleep, some people might have fell asleep in the first half because it was very, very boring. But the second half comes up. We want to see if there's going to be any adjustments. There really wasn't any. Same starting 11 for LAFC. But Son Heung-min was in another gear. He was in another gear. He had one shot that was close, and then he stole the ball in the attack, And I thought maybe it was an assist, but it was it looked like he lost possession or it got deflected. Either way, the ball went from Sonny to uh, Marky Delgado, and he scored an absolute beautiful goal, clinical, uh, class goal in the top right corner. And so Marky Delgado redeemed himself somewhat, and he was able to get on the score sheet and put LAFC up 1-0. Well, like I said, the first half was ugly, right? Very defense oriented. It was just an ugly midfield congested game that they wanted. New England wanted this game to be ugly to try to win it. But with them scoring, things had to open up because New England had to try to score, and that opened things up for LAFC. And I thought, okay, this is going to be a way more entertaining game, way more open. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows how many goals we're going to see scored? And it actually didn't happen like that because there was players that were just making still some bad decisions. Uh, David Martinez was bad too. A couple plays where he made the wrong decision. There was one play that he played off of Sonny, and instead of looking for him where he was wide open, he shot the ball. He shot it when Sonny was wide open at the top of the key, at the top of the box, wide open, and he shot it, which just shows that his immaturity because he's only 19 years old. I still think he just doesn't have it between the ears. He still doesn't know what plays to make. And Denny Bwanga, I have to mention him too. Left winger. He is supposed to be the second best player on this team. He's been the best player on this team, for the last couple of years. He was terrible today. I said Delgado was bad, but with the expectations that Denny Bwanga has on him, he was the worst player for LAFC today because he just stunk up the joint. He didn't do anything in the attack. He couldn't create any chances. He lost the ball a lot of times. He was getting manhandled in the defense. I mean, he was bad. He was really bad. He was the worst player for me on this team in total, first and second half, in my opinion. And so you kind of just wondered, like, okay, what's going to happen with this team? Are they going to be able to find the back? Are they going to be able to score again? Are they just going to concede? Or not concede, but like be okay with the 1-0 victory? What's going to happen? But in added time, Son Heung-min was able to find the new guy from Switzerland, the guy on loan. I think it's Casimir, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name. The new Swiss loanee, though, he was able to find him off the bench. He came on for Denny Bwanga and instantly made an impact. And then Sonny almost scored a header himself. He almost scored a header himself in the final minutes. Like when Denny Bwanga came off the pitch, it was like a completely different team. They looked instantly better. And Sonny, I think, was the best player for LAFC today. He had an assist, probably could have had two, almost had a goal. Considering he's playing up top and you need everyone around you to play better. You need people to set you up. You need to have chances created. With all that considered, I think Sonny played very well. I think he did the best job he possibly could do under the circumstances. And I think that the fact he was having to come to the midfield, he was having to play deeper to try to help the attack ignite, to try to help the attack get something started. It's just sad. And it shows that LAFC desperately need to get a number 10. They need a playmaker who can help this team out. And hopefully they do. So I would say Sonny was my player of the game. Denny Bwanga was the worst player in the game for me. When he went off the pitch, Denny Bwanga, the team looked better. We'll see what happens. They play FC Dallas next Saturday. It's going to be another road game for them. So it's going to be a third road game in a row for LAFC. Hopefully they can get things managed and look a little better early on. But very disappointing game for LAFC in general. Even though they won 2-0, it was still disappointing from everyone else how bad they looked. They just didn't look as good as they should have looked. Very disappointing. Have to be better if they want to win MLS Cup. They're probably going to have to make some moves, like I said, if they want to win MLS Cup. You guys let me know what you think. Who was your most disappointing player in this match? Was it Denny Bwanga? Was it Marky Delgado? Was it someone I didn't name? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.